how many fights can a person have in their life? Being a fighter is not just about punching in the ring. Sometimes the fight starts inside, with your own fears, your past, your mistakes, and sometimes that fight destroys you. The story I'm telling you today is not just the story of an athlete, but the story of the last fight of a man, a brother, a son, Suman Mokhtarian. Yes, a former UFC fighter. He fought in front of fans for years, but the most terrible fight he paid for, silently, with his life. Suman was born in Sydney's West. He had a difficult childhood. For a child who grew up on the streets, strength didn't just mean muscle, it meant survival. His family had emigrated from Iran, but they couldn't find comfort there or here. Since childhood, he felt that the world was not kind to him. Sometimes he would say, "Smiling on the street is weakness." He was 14 years old then. He already knew how to fight. His fists were his voice. But he didn't just want to fight, he wanted to win, like a real fighter. When he met MMA, he had a goal for the first time in his life. "This is my way out," he said. He trained for days, sometimes going to work in the morning and coming back to the gym in the evening. He trained his body with pain and his soul with fear. In 2016, he finally stepped into the ring for the first time. No one knew him, but 3 minutes later, everyone recognized him. He knocked his opponent down. And at that moment, for the first time in his life, everyone stood up and shouted his name. "Suman! Suman!" These sounds intoxicated him. His eyes sparkled, but there was still emptiness inside. Victory did not bring him happiness, only more desire. He wanted to fight more. He became a star. He entered the UFC scene, but things were different there. Every blow, every mistake was expensive there. His opponents fought with the same hunger as him. He suffered many injuries. He had knee surgery, a long recovery period. But the biggest wound was not on his body, but on his inside. Becoming famous had turned him into a different person. The simple Suman on the street was gone. In its place was a tougher, more nervous, sometimes uncontrollable fog. The press wrote that he had become aggressive. Even outside of the fight, his behavior was angry. Some said, "He is too emotional for the UFC." But I think he was just too human. There was so much suppressed pain that one day it would explode. In the 2020s, his career was already heading for decline. Injuries, depression, lack of gyms, loss of sponsors. He wanted to switch to coaching, but there too the old things came back. Street acquaintances, old friends, drug talks, addiction, they all came back. They say that even if you are a fighter, fighting the devil inside is the hardest thing. That devil slowly eats you up. Suman disappeared for a while. He was rarely seen on social media. Then suddenly he started sharing again. Motivational quotes, fight scenes, sometimes dark statuses. He wrote, "My biggest enemy is myself." When I read that sentence, I thought, he was already asking for help. But often such people ask for help silently, and they didn't hear because no one heard or didn't care. In August 2025, in the south of Sydney, at around 10 o'clock one night, gunshots were heard. Neighbors say that first there was the sound of a car, then two people arguing, then silence, then a sound like an explosion. A few minutes later, the police arrived. There was a body on the ground, a 32-year-old man. That man was former UFC fighter Suman Mokhtarian. At that moment, I stopped and looked at the news for a long time. He was smiling in the photo, but there was a strange depth in his eyes, as if a hole had opened inside. Cause of death, gunshot wound. The police have started investigating the incident, but so far no one has been arrested. Now I see that the man who survived so many fights finally died alone, silently, on the street. Is this justice? I can't say, but one thing is clear. He was not defeated in the ring. Life defeated him. Some sources say that Suman has been with dangerous people in recent months. There were debt talks with some old acquaintances, misunderstandings, maybe threats. But nothing is known for sure. Just a bullet, a body, and a lot of questions. I sometimes wonder why this happens. A person becomes a star, but cannot get out of the darkness inside. Maybe this so-called fame is actually a trap, because everyone loves you, but the thing is that no one knows you. Suman's relatives say that he has been very quiet lately. He would stand at home for hours looking out the window. His wife said that sometimes he would wake up at night, breathing heavily. It was as if he was running away from someone, but not from someone, but from his past. Fighters lose a lot. Their health, their psyche, sometimes even who they were. Suman lost all of them. He was wounded not only physically, but also spiritually. I believe that a part of him still held on to the thread of hope, to change, to improve, to rise again. But it was too late for that part. The police investigation is still ongoing. But with each passing day, this incident became more and more of a mystery. Who fired that bullet? Why? Was it for money, revenge, or just coincidence? There is no answer. But one thing is for sure. A young man's life ended. Sometimes I think that he could have been a little more patient, or he should have opened up to someone. Maybe if he had, he would be alive now. Maybe he would have trained other young people. Maybe he was with his family. But sometimes life doesn't give you second chances. After his death, the UFC community was in great shock. Some of his friends said, "We lost him, but the system lost him too." They were right, because sometimes after fighters leave the ring, no one looks at them. A career ends, a person remains, in a void. Every time I talk about this incident, I think the same thing. In this life, no one will save you if you don't save yourself. Suma's story taught me this. Winning is not everything. Sometimes losing is also a lesson. I know this video will shock many, but maybe we should be shocked. Because every day, somewhere, a Suman Mokhtarian is lost. We may not know his name, but his story is the same. Hopelessness, loneliness, internal war. Now think, what are you fighting against? Your own fears? Your past? Or silence? Life is a fight, my friend. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But the main thing is, who will deliver the final blow? Suman Mokhtarian is a warrior, a father, a brother, a son. His fight is over, but we can learn something from him. Strength is not only in muscle, strength is also in silence. I know, this story was hard. Sometimes such stories shake a person. But look, you are here now. You are listening. So there is a part of you that cannot remain indifferent to such people. I also think about it every time after such events. Maybe writing a message, asking a friend, saying, "How are you?" when you can't say it, can change someone's life. If there was someone with Suma at that moment, maybe this story would have ended differently. So, friends, if there is someone in your life who is silent, maybe just listen. Not everyone wants to talk, but everyone needs to be listened to. And yes, this story is over, but my conversation with you is not over yet, because in the next video, in the next story, it will be you and me again, and we will watch again. Let's see, who will win? Life or the warrior inside a person?